Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video I'll be taking you over Nvidia's options data analysis, and most importantly I'll be providing my opinion on this week we have earnings, and that's why how options data I'm reading it, and also not just that, like how the options data during the earnings week looking like, but also I want to go over what type of chart potentially we might be looking at after earnings, and even before earnings, what is my overall opinion. Now, there are some technicals that I covered on Nvidia in the video here on my channel that you can check it out, that Nvidia's earnings week massive squeeze, and there are a lot of points I'm covering here. One of them also has to do with how the short sellers are piling up, but the price action is not favoring them yet. And so there's a squeeze potential that may happen, but also for some technicals, if you want to get ahead and also have background understanding, check this video out on my channel on Nvidia's earnings week massive squeeze potential. So now with that, let's jump right into it. Once I also let you know, none of this is any financial advice and it's only for education purposes. All right. Very high level structure on Nvidia's technical is still bullish here, and the bottom blue box that you are seeing from 118 all the way to almost 122 is still going to keep Nvidia bullish. The short sellers have piled up here again. If you have access to my indicator, you can plug and play. I'm not going to plug in here. Check out that video that I just pointed you to, okay? Now that I do expect price action is still supporting that squeeze to the upside with the break of $130.63. Now, what is the options data telling us, right? Surprisingly, right now I'm not seeing huge spikes. This $130 calls that we have a huge spike, but they're very close to where the price has closed, and these mostly could be reminiscence of the last week, right? Rolled over calls, right? So not necessarily I want to put a lot of emphasis on these particular calls here. The ones that I'm interested in are 135, 140, and 150. That's where the spike is on the call side, out of the money calls. And then on the put side, we only have interest at 120 at a high amount. Now, so let's put these, I'm going to ignore $130, guys, because price is right over there. It doesn't matter. If we can hit 135 calls, why not 130, right? So let's talk about that, and then I'll provide my opinion as well, what I expect chart may look like through the earnings, until earnings, and after earnings. So let's put on some of these 135, 140. So let me actually 135. Then let's put 140, which is right around where the almost the all-time high is, right? And then we have 150 as a high spike, right? Here we go. And then there's some 145 as well. I'll just put it there. And then the bottom spikes on the put side, I'm only seeing $120 puts, right? And around that zone. So 120, let's put that there. And there's okay, let me put first 120 puts is right around here. There are some at 110 as well, but I'm not too worried about it. They're not that much, but let's still put it there, right? 110 as well. So let's do 110, okay? Okay, so this is what we are dealing with. Well, first of all, what my opinion is, until earnings, all right, this is we are talking about the criteria before earnings, okay? Now, before earnings, yes, the price action is supporting upside. $130 is going to give it a potential squeeze as well to the upside. Nvidia also has a good support at the bottom here. So until earnings, I don't think $120 put's going to make money, and anything below that is a no-no, in my opinion. Again, if price action crashes, do something, it does that, it does, okay? But if it does that, but why am I saying that it's nearly less likely is because Price action is not supporting that, and in my opinion, we still have a good support holding in the upside price action, and also structure on my indicator hasn't turned bearish, is still bullish. And then also, if I go to the hourly interval, structure all in all on Nvidia is still looking bullish above many levels. Again, check out this video of mine that will give you already understanding of why this is so, this technical video, right, on my channel. So until earnings though, 120, I don't think that's going to happen. Those puts are anything below that, I think it's not worth trading. All right. We'll talk about the post earnings scenarios as well in just a second. But what about the calls? And guys, you will have a stop loss regardless. Okay. I'm not saying price can't go there. Sure, it can go there. No one knows what's going to happen in the market, but we have to trade with the probability and plan of attack and action. And all the confluences that have been building up on Nvidia is the probability that right now still price action is supporting the upside. If price action something does on Monday and breaks below the level of 122 and 50 days moving average, which is unlikely, then sure, price action is changing, but I just don't see that how that's happening. But again, I'm just providing you the most probable case, right? And 80 to 90% we are bullish on Nvidia, and I like to trade with the probability with the stop loss on the other side. Now, so 135 in my opinion is likely before earnings we can do it. I won't go for 140 calls though, and anything above that until earnings though. So this is possible. 135. We are looking good until Wednesday. That most probably, once we start squeezing above 130, that's important. We can do 135. 140 is so close to the supply zone, all-time highs, that before earnings, I would consider that it's an extreme case. All right, just because it's very close to the supply zones, two supply zones in the way. Now, what about the after earnings? What are my opinions, right? So Nvidia, through the earnings, it does a good move. The last move was pretty much the change of the chart over here, right? Broke all-time highs, right? So that was a move of how much? In relativeness to the price, the last move was almost $7, right? Now, $7 move is, I know it doesn't look substantial, but here's the thing. If Nvidia, and it's setting up for that though, guys, in my opinion, if Nvidia can get up to 135 buy earnings time, and look, no one knows what's going to happen through the earnings, but if it gaps up to 135 or 136 before earnings, Monday, Tuesday, and early Wednesday, and this thing tries to gap up or something, just say, oh wow, this is great earnings, oh guidance is great, oh Nvidia is unstoppable, things going to the moon, right? It's going to change the chart again. It's going to break out and pretty much gap up and open above the next day of this previous candle, all time highs, I mean 140 and above. And then yes, 145 for Thursday and Friday will come in play. 150, it depends how much the momentum is then after earnings, but 145 is possible if we are at 136 and before earnings, and then earnings gaps it up. 145, I think we are doing it. That's a change of chart. Not sure 150 though. But if we change the chart, 150 will come next week most likely, which will be change of chart is gapping up above 140 post earnings. And here's also the thing, if by earnings we can get to 136 area, no matter even if Nvidia gaps down, I don't think $120 put still going to make money. No, 120 is, I think if we get up to 136 before even earnings, forget 120. Even if we gap down, we are not coming down to 120, 50 and 20 days moving average. These pivot structure will still keep Nvidia bullish. All right. So even Nvidia before earnings, as if it gaps up even above 130, squeezes up before earnings, this just becomes a really good support with 50 and 20 days moving average, and I'll still not touch 120. What can only make 120 puts work, or even after earnings gap down and fail, right? The structure. Well, for that, Nvidia needs to stay below 130. First of all, it shouldn't take out this pivot. If price action doesn't get above 130 until earnings, and after earnings, let's say it's gaps down below 122, the structure full on would only break if we, after earnings, gaps down below 20 days moving average as well. In other words, we lose 180. If we lose that post earnings, which will only have most likely happen if we don't get above 130 by earnings, and then we gap down or stay weaker and gap down, and then earnings, if something doesn't comes great, the short sellers piling up here. Let me actually just show you that short selling data as well, because, well, I did show it in another video, but let me actually just put it here as well. So you can see there's just short sellers piling up that I have never seen such high quantity on Nvidia before. So then yes, if gaps down after earnings, then these short sellers definitely gonna pound more here. And 118, once we lose that as well with 20 days moving average, then Nvidia Thursday, Friday, or whatnot will look much, much weaker, right? But right, so that's only the case post earnings. And in my opinion, there's just a lot more stuff setting up for the upside, guys. I'm 80% on the upside bullish, just my opinion, but I still provide the cases what it will take for Nvidia to break to the downside, both before earnings and post earnings, what need to be seen in the price action, what levels we shouldn't break to the upside, and to the downside needs to be broken for the downside structure to play out, which right now is maybe 10% possibility. To 90%, in my opinion, we are setting up for upside. Just my opinion, though. Nothing is guaranteed. I'm just sharing my opinion. Anything can happen. And again, I'm not taking guarantee of anything. I'm just providing, looking at the price section, the data, the structure, what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is right now, at least right now, the price action is still staying strong. If I see weakness, I'll talk about it on my channel. All right, guys, with that, that's pretty much it for this video. If you found it helpful, valuable, please hit the like, subscribe. And with that, I'll see you in my next videos. And don't forget to check out other videos as well that I have done on my channel. That is Tesla, CrowdStrike, Palantir, SPY, and QQ with all the tech stocks. That is Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Meta, Netflix, Google, AMD, ARM, SMC, Micron, Broadcom, Nvidia, Semiconductors, everything, guys. Check it out here on my channel. All right. And if you need access to my tools, links are in the description below as well. All right, guys. Take care. Bye.